Breaking news, fear in Providence. The gunman wanted for the deadly shootings at Brown University is still on the loose. New video of the suspect as the FBI posts a $50,000 reward.
To know that this person is still on the loose is very scary.
We have our robbery homicide division handling the investigation.
Also tonight, murder in Hollywood. Rob and Michelle Reiner stabbed to death in their home. Their son, Nick, is under arrest.
The Hanukkah massacre in Bondi Beach. Did the Australian government ignore the rise in anti-Semitism?
We warned that this would happen, and yet you just don't expect it to happen.
It's freezing cold in much of the United States, but a warm-up is coming.
You are a meathead.
And from meathead to mogul, the kid from the Bronx who became one of the biggest producers in Tinseltown.
Oh, is that good? Oh, wow.
From CBS News headquarters in New York, this is the CBS Evening News.
Good evening, I'm John Dickerson.
I'm Maurice Dubois.
We begin with the hunt for the gunman in the deadly shootings at Brown University.
Providence, Rhode Island is on edge tonight with that gunman still on the loose. A man who had been detained as a person of interest was let go.
Late today, the police put out this new video of the man they're still looking for, and the FBI posted a $50,000 reward for information leading to his arrest.
Tom Hansen is in Providence with the latest on the investigation tonight. Tom.
Good evening. Well, 2 days after the shooting that jolted this community, authorities spent the entire day searching for clues, and tonight, with no one in custody, they're asking for the public's help.
Tonight, new surveillance video shows what Providence police are calling a person of interest in the weekend's deadly shooting. Images of a man wearing a hat, much of his face covered by a mask, captured just a few blocks from the Brown University building where a gunman entered a lecture hall on Saturday and opened fire. Today, law enforcement officials combed through the area for any clues, sifting through the snow and going through dumpsters. Tonight, law enforcement officials asked the public for help identifying the person in the video and offered a reward of up to $50,000.
The sooner we can identify that person, the sooner we can, I think, blow this case open. But that's work that has to happen in the next 24 to 36 hours.
Police say the gunman burst into the Brown University classroom just after 4 p.m. Saturday, firing several rounds with a 9mm handgun as students sheltered in place across campus, including at the library. Police! 9 students were wounded, and the 2 who were killed identified today as 19-year-old sophomore Ella Cook and 18-year-old freshman Muhammad Aziz Umerzakov. Eno Thompson Tribe was a friend of Umerzakov.
He really cared about supporting his friends and being there for them.
Final exams were canceled and students have been sent home, but Thompson Tribe said people around the campus are still frightened given the shooter has not been caught.
I think everyone is really scared right now, and I think that there is a lot of fear. So, you know, to know that this person is still on the loose is very scary.
FBI Director Kash Patel announced on social media Sunday morning they had detained a person of interest, but the individual was later released after they found no evidence connected to the shooting.
And investigators tell CBS News they effectively had to restart the investigation after those early missteps, which set them back by several hours.
Tom Hansen at the Van Wickle Gates at Brown University. Thank you.
Now to the murders of Rob Reiner and his wife, Michelle. Many of us awoke to the news that they'd been found dead yesterday at their home in Los Angeles.
And there was more shocking news to follow. The Reiners had been stabbed, and one of their children was arrested for the crime. Jonathan Vigliotti is on the scene with the latest. Jonathan.
John, even before the evidence was gathered, investigators say they quickly zeroed in on their suspect. Nick Reiner lived here with his parents in their guest house. Tonight, the motive behind this brutal attack remains a mystery.
Once Hollywood royalty, now victims of an unthinkable tragedy. Actor-director Rob Reiner and his wife Michelle found dead inside their home in LA's exclusive community of Brentwood. Their daughter Romy discovered the bodies Sunday afternoon. Her brother Nick was taken into custody just hours later. Investigators say the couple suffered multiple stab wounds. There were no signs of forced entry. This morning, LAPD Chief Jim McDonnell confirmed the arrest.
Nick Reiner, a suspect in this case, he was subsequently booked for murder. and is being held on $4 million bail.
That bail has since been revoked. The 32-year-old had battled addiction and homelessness for half his life. A decade ago, he wrote a screenplay about those struggles called Being Charlie. The film's director, his father. While police remain tight-lipped, the deaths sent a chill through the film and television industry, reflecting Reiner's enduring legacy. The son of legendary comedian Carl Reiner, his own work ranged from All in the Family to directing film classics like This Is Spinal Tap and A Few Good Men.
I want the truth! You can't handle the truth!
Former President Obama wrote that beneath all of Reiner's work was a deep belief in the goodness of people. Former President Clinton wrote that Rob and Michelle Reiner inspired and uplifted millions. President Trump drew bipartisan backlash after he said this about Reiner, who was a frequent critic.
He became like a deranged person, Trump derangement syndrome. So I was not a fan of Rob Reiner at all.
Reiner met his wife on the set of When Harry Met Sally. She was a photographer and, among her earliest work, shooting the cover of Trump's Art of the Deal. Rob Reiner was 78, Michelle 70. What seemed like an ideal American family, now a family torn apart.
And Nick Reiner was last seen with his father on Saturday night. It's unclear what transpired between then and yesterday. It's also unclear if Nick Reiner has an attorney.
Hard to process this one. Jonathan Vigliotti in Los Angeles, thank you.
We will have more about Rob Reiner's remarkable career in Hollywood later in the broadcast, but we turn now to the other deadly mass shooting we're following in Australia, targeting Jews celebrating Hanukkah.
At least 15 people were killed. Dozens more are in the hospital. Anna Corrin is on the scene in Bondi Beach. Anna.
Yeah, that's right. We are here at Sydney's Bondi Beach, the scene of Sunday's massacre. Many in the Jewish community have told us while the attack came as a shock, it sadly wasn't unexpected. As gunshots rang out over Bondi Beach, disbelief turned to utter terror. As two gunmen, identified by police as a father and son armed with high-powered rifles, fired roughly 60 shots during a rampage that lasted for 10 minutes. In the chaos, people ran for safety or hid on the ground and under picnic tables, shielding children. During the attack, a courageous civilian, Ahmed Al-Ahmed, a fruit shop owner, sees one of the attackers' weapons before being shot twice himself. And Reuven Morrison, seen here, threw bricks at the gunman and chased after him. His daughter, Shayna Gutnick, calls him a hero.
If there was one way for him to go on this earth, it would be fighting a terrorist. He went down fighting, protecting the people he loved the most.
Morrison was shot and bled out while waiting for help. One of at least 15 people killed during the massacre.
I don't know how to live in a world without him. I don't know how my children will live without him.
62-year-old Morrison had warned about the rise of anti-Semitism in Australia. He'd fled persecution in the former Soviet Union 50 years earlier, but now feared his adopted homeland was no longer safe. Anti-Semitic incidents have increased since the October 7th attacks and war in Gaza. Synagogues firebombed and vandalised.
Who has failed you and your family and your father?
The Australian government is to blame. They've had the warning signs for so long. The Jewish community has been begging and begging and begging for action. They have failed us, they have betrayed us, and they have so much innocent blood on their hands.
As the community gathers to grieve the victims of the worst mass shooting in almost 3 decades, the Australian government has pledged to make sure it can't happen again. Now, Australia has some of the strictest gun laws in the world. Automatic weapons are banned here. Well, the government is planning on making those laws even stricter in the wake of the terror attack.
Anna Corrin on Bondi Beach. Thank you.
Back in this country, federal authorities have said today that they've broken up a plot to set off bombs this coming New Year's Eve at a number of sites in Southern California.
They've arrested 4 members of what they describe as an extremist group. Justice correspondent Scott McFarlane is following the story. Scott?
Yeah, John, the group is accused of being an anti-government extremist organization and self-proclaimed radicals who want to take down capitalism. The video you're seeing here is from an FBI surveillance flight of group members in the Mojave Desert Friday, just before their arrests. The group allegedly was preparing to set bombs off in backpacks near 5 major business distribution facilities in Orange County and Los Angeles County, California. Federal officials say the terror attack was being timed for New Year's Eve so that the explosions would be masked by traditional fireworks celebrations. The FBI says an Instagram page associated with the group advocates violence against government officials, and that the Turtle Island Liberation Front, as they're known, was also plotting a 2026 attack against ICE agents. A 5th person authorities say is linked to this group has been arrested in New Iberia, Louisiana, charged with plotting a separate violent attack. The accused were set to make initial appearances in court this afternoon without entering a plea, and the term Turtle Island is a name used to refer to North America by some indigenous peoples.
Okay, Scott McFarland, thank you.
It is freezing cold here in the Northeast, so the snow that fell over the weekend is not going anywhere.
But a warm-up is coming. Here's meteorologist Rob Marciano.
The first significant snowfall of the season blanketed much of the East Coast, sending this truck in Connecticut spinning out of control and into a telephone pole. The snow immediately followed by a deep freeze. Hannah Lubowitz commutes into Manhattan nearly every day. Does it feel like this winter is off to a fast start?
Yes, and I feel like it dramatically hit. It's like now freezing.
Almost 3 inches of snow turned the Big Apple into a winter wonderland, while nearly 9 inches fell in suburban Philadelphia. And snow is still falling in Buffalo, where a squall of intense lake effect caused traffic to slow to a crawl today. And more rain is hitting the Pacific Northwest, causing a levee breach in western Washington. Roughly 1,000 residents in and downstream of Tukwila have been ordered to leave immediately. More rain, not what they need, so we will begin with what's going on in the Pacific Northwest and the next atmospheric river that is pointing directly at Washington and Oregon. Several pulses will be coming through this area, not just with rain, but with wind. So how much do we expect on top of what we got last week? Another 4 to potentially 10 inches of rainfall, a little bit more in the way of some mountain snow. Here comes the pulse coming into the Pacific Northwest on Wednesday, and then another one come Thursday, Friday, but that one on Wednesday does traverse the entire country and comes to the East Coast mostly in the form of rain, because as you'll see, the temperatures will be warming up. Not tonight, not tomorrow. Look at well below average temperatures across the Northeast come to tomorrow for daytime highs, but as we head towards a Wednesday, temperatures begin to moderate, not just across the Southwest where they'll be 15 to 25 degrees above average, but here in the Northeast as well. So coupled with the warm temperatures and the rain that's arriving here on Friday, a lot of the snow that you see behind me will likely be gone by Christmas. Maurice?
Rob Marciano, thank you.
All right, still ahead on the CBS Evening News, the heroic efforts to rescue a fisherman after his boat catches fire.
'Tis the season for package poaching porch pirates. Steps you can take to stop them.
And remembering Rob Reiner on the screen and behind the camera.
The FDA is ordering 4 major retailers to stop selling a baby formula that was recalled last month. A recent warning letter said By Heart Whole Nutrition infant formula was still on shelves at Walmart, Target, Kroger, and Albertsons. The formula was linked to a nationwide outbreak in bacterial illness in infants.
The Coast Guard made a daring rescue off the coast of Clearwater, Florida. A helicopter crew pulled a commercial fisherman to safety on Sunday after his boat became engulfed in flames. The man had jumped onto a life raft before the rescuers arrived.
Indiana University's Fernando Mendoza was awarded the Heisman Trophy over the weekend as college football's top player. Mendoza became teary-eyed in his acceptance speech in New York as he thanked his mom, Elsa, who is battling multiple sclerosis.
Mommy, this is your trophy as much as it is mine. You've always been my biggest fan. You're my light. You're my why. You're my biggest supporter.
Mendoza led the Hoosiers to an undefeated season and the #1 seed in the playoffs. They are pirates at your porch.
Grinch is out to steal your Christmas. That's next.
It is the height of the holiday shopping season.
And one of the most popular destinations for unscrupulous bargain hunters is your front porch. Here's Skylar Henry.
I was so mad. I was just mad.
Atlanta resident Tanya Shepard says it happened to her in the middle of the day last month. A thief stealing her packages on a busy street. Security footage shows the porch pirate wave unsuspectingly to the camera, look to see if the coast is clear, then make off with boxes.
Are you hesitant to order?
I think you have to order in this day and time, but I do try to be more mindful about knowing when things are coming.
Shepard's packages were among the roughly 250,000 that are stolen nationwide every day. A study from home safety research company Safewise estimated the total value of the items lost in the past year alone at nearly $15 billion. As online holiday shopping ramps up, seeing thieves take off with goods is on the rise, prompting federal lawmakers to mull over legislation, including fines up to $250,000 and up to 10 years in prison.
Stealing any package will carry the same federal punishments across the board.
We stick with the 3 Ds: deter, detect, and deny.
Nick B. Thomas is the chief marketing officer for Atlanta-based Ackerman Security Systems.
On the porch, if you have some sort of light associated with your camera, they're not going to test it. You want the burglar to say, I ain't doing that.
Tanya Shepard says while what she lost can be replaced, she's being more vigilant about what she buys and when it arrives.
Think of people who couldn't afford to rebuy packages, you know what I mean? Or what if you had a kid and it was that one present and that's what got taken off your porch?
Only 11 states and Washington, D.C. have laws on the books specifically addressing porch piracy, with 5 others considering similar legislation. Penalties right now, Maurice and John, range between 6 months in jail to 30 years.
Skylar Henry, thank you.
Well, he was born in the Bronx and became a legend in Hollywood.
We'll remember Rob Reiner next.
Finally here tonight, many of us first met Rob Reiner right here on CBS on All in the Family.
Reiner once said, I could win the Nobel Prize, and they'd write, Meathead wins the Nobel Prize.
Well, he never did win a Nobel, but he did earn 2 Emmys.
And an Oscar nomination. Here's Vladimir Duthiers.
Oh, boy. It was a breakthrough role that set the stage for one of Hollywood's most indelible careers. For 8 seasons, Rob Reiner was bleeding heart liberal Michael Stivic in the 1970s CBS sitcom All in the Family.
You are a meathead.
After All in the Family wrapped up, he went behind the camera, beginning a decades-long run as a director across multiple genres that remains almost unmatched. This is Spinal Tap was his first feature.
Why don't you just make 10 louder and make 10 be the top?
The mockumentary about a heavy metal British band would find its way into the lexicon for generations to come. The Princess Bride became a cult classic.
Inconceivable!
And When Harry Met Sally set the template for just about every romantic comedy that followed. With Reiner's mom delivering a punchline for the ages.
I'll have what she's having.
The military tribunal thriller and drama A Few Good Men earned him his first and only Oscar nomination.
You can't handle the truth!
Off the screen, Reiner was also an activist, championing marriage equality, anti-tobacco efforts, and environmental causes. Reiner's last project was a return to what launched him, with Spinal Tap 2. In October, he told 60 Minutes, despite decades of success, he was still always just trying to get a laugh.
And if I like it, then I say, well, at least I like it. Hopefully somebody else is going to like it.
The original ending of When Harry Met Sally was a cynical one. Harry and Sally did not end up together, but after he met his wife Michelle during the production and fell in love, he rewrote the scene to reflect the change in his life. They were married for over 30 years, and Michelle also produced some of his films, including the final movie, Spinal Tap 2.
What a sweet couple, right?
Unbelievable.
I had no idea that was his mom.
In When Harry Met Sally, the most iconic scene in the movie.
Right.
Yeah.
That's
yeah.
so great.
And you look behind you, all these iconic movies spanning all these genres.
And they're so different. Exactly right.
Yeah.
And all day long, people have been saying different lines from different movies that have affected them across all those different genres.
Incredible range.
We missed.
Great talent. Thanks, Vlad. Thank you. And that is the CBS Evening News. I'm Maurice Dubois.
I'm John Dickerson. We leave you tonight with a symbol of this season of hope.
On this second night of Hanukkah. Good night.